It's the middle of June, well actually June 19th, so we're getting near the end of June, and we're taking a look in our hive once again. And inside the second top box here, you can see it looks very full of bees, which we kind of anticipated. Okay, the queen probably has laid lots of brood in this one. It's nice to have an observation window. We're thinking this top box is probably pretty full too. And so we're going to try and maybe rotate some of these bottom boxes again to free up some space to keep the bees from swarming. We are trying to build a very big hive, a hive that produces a lot of honey. Hopefully we can do that. We'll be looking for queen cells or swarm cells, hopefully, to make sure none of that's going on. You can see the bees going in and out of this hive pretty well. It's not really the nectar flow, honey flow season yet, but we're pretty close to that. You can see lots of bees going in there with a lot of pollen on them, on their legs. See those? See that yellow stuff? That's the pollen they're going in with. So that's nice to see. They're building up their brood. They're building up their hive as much as they can, and we need to manage it to make sure they don't swarm, or at least to try to prevent them from swarming. So that's what we're doing today. So this is our honeysuper. It's a smaller, lower depth frames are in here, and we have what's called a queen excluder. So this keeps the queen from going up into this box. Normally this honey excluder will be underneath this box, but we're flipping it on here backwards, so this is going to go on first. This prevents the queen from going into this honeysuper, and it just leaves the bees going in to hopefully fill these frames with honey, and we would pull these off in order to harvest it. It's the easiest way to take your honey and get it out of the hive, and then to put it in our extractor and make some honey. So we'll be adding this now onto the top of this 4-box hive, and hopefully our bees will start to go up into this honeysuper and start to place honey and then cap the honey, and maybe in another month or so we'll be able to pull some off of here and harvest some honey. That is the plan. Our smoker is going. Let's see if it'll actually stay lit. This is our top bee box. It's pretty high, and you can see it's full of bees, which we kind of expected that there would be a lot of bees in this hive, which means that box is full. This second box is probably full, and that's why we're running out of space. So we do want to get these, rotate these boxes and make sure our hive has room so it won't decide to swarm. Here's the second box. You can see we pulled through some of the brood, which we didn't want to do, but that happens when they have cells in between the boxes, sadly. But now we have this whole one. Just based on how heavy this one is, I believe it's filled with a lot of honey rather than brood, because it was a very heavy box. Very heavy box. Again, that's the reason why we want to get our honeysuper up on top. We want them to fill that up instead. You can see, look at all of that shininess. That is honey in there, but it's not capped yet. So these bees have placed a ton of honey in here, but it's not dry enough for them to cap it up and seal it up. So it's not quite ready yet for us to harvest it. On the flip side, again, pollen and honey. So right now that's what's going on inside of here. And you can see, now here's the difference. This is capped honey. The stuff on the bottom is uncapped honey. So these bees, once they fill this whole frame, this would be able for us to harvest it and pull it off and process the honey. Okay. Now on this side, again, uncapped honey. So we still have a ways to go in this big box up here. See, here are cells now, which means the queen's laying eggs up in here. And this would be a situation where we don't necessarily want her to stay in here. That's why we're probably going to move this thing down to the bottom. Again, lots of honey in there. If the frames get full of honey and the queen has no place to lay eggs, it becomes honey bound, and then they start to think it's time for them to swarm because they're out of space. Lift up. Tons of brood. Look at that. See all those capped cells on there? Those are going to be baby bees in a little while. There are a ton of that. Okay? And the opposite side is the same way. That means there's a good chance the queen is in this box and she's running out of room. So it's good we're in here today to rotate this and move it. We had a lot of bees that were swarming and attacking my glove, and thank goodness the smoker worked and got them to chill out. So we'll try and get this thing placed perfectly. Our honeysuper's on. We've removed the hole from the top so they can get into the top and hopefully get in there. We put the queen excluder in between these two levels so she can't get into the honeysuper. And yeah, we're going to have a ton of bees here. Very soon. We might need to split it. Or we're definitely going to need to pull lots of honey out of this thing soon because it's filling up fast. Which is kind of what we suspected would happen. A lot of bees in this hive right now. Lots of bees. And they're making lots of honey, so that's a good thing.